In this video, I'll be talking about chapter number 4, which is data and privacy. And we're watching CS by SS. As you know that we have started a series of computer science 9th Matric syllabus, where I'll be telling you about all the short questions, long questions, and some MCQs from each chapter. So this is the test. It contains total marks is 30 and you have total 60 minutes time to finish this test. First we have an objective portion. In objective portion, 4 possible answers A, B, C, and D to each questions are given. The choice which you think is correct, fill that bubble in front of that question with marker or pen ink. Cutting or filling 2 or more bubbles will result in 0 marks in that question. Attempt as many questions as given in that objective type question paper and have others blank. No credit will be given in case bubbles are not properly filled. So we have first question. The process of encoding data is, you have an option A, availability, option B, confidentiality, option C, encryption, and option D, sabotage. Right? So we looked at the process of encoding data in a form that only authorized users can read it. This process is called encryption. Right? So the correct option is C, encryption. Next we have the second question. A good password should be at least blank characters long. Option A, 4, option B, 8, option C, 12, option D, 16. We know that a good password should be at least 8 characters long, and it should be a combination of alphabets and capital and small alphabets and the special characters as well. So the correct option is B, which is 8. Then we have third question. Blank is a cyber attack to make machines or network resources unavailable for a user. Option A, piracy, option B, hacking, option C, phishing, or option D, DOS. So there is a cyber attack which will make machines or network resource unavailable. So that cyber attack's name is DOS, denial of services. DOS will make sure that no machine or no network resource will be available for the user. So the correct option is D. Then we have the last but not the least, fourth question. Company stores some piece of information with the web server. It is called option A, testing, option B, mind reading, option C, cookies, and option D, storage. So we have some companies which will store some information, piece of data while surfing the internet. That piece of data is called cookies. So the correct option is C. Okay, so then we have some short questions, and we have exactly 9 short questions, and you have to attempt all short questions. Every question will carry 2 marks. So the first question is piracy, right? So piracy means making illegal and unauthorized copies of the software without owner's permission. Piracy means making illegal and unauthorized copies of software without owner's permission. This is called piracy. Then we have a second question. What is meant by encryption? Right? So we have discussed this encryption in our above the video while we were discussing about the short questions as well. But let me tell you again what is encryption. So basically encryption is the process of encoding your data in a form that only an authorized person will read our data, right? Encryption is the process of encoding data in such a way that only an authorized person can read it. we will be having some plain text. When we will apply some encryption or key on that data, it will be converted into a cipher text, right? Then we have third question, define cipher text. Okay, so see, we have some plain data, plain text, and we will apply some key on the plain text. Then that data will be converted into cipher text. Cipher text is basically the encoded data, right? When we will apply the same key on the cipher text, which will convert into plain text, right? So this process is called decryption, right? Then we have fourth question, why do we need an installation key whereas the software can be protected with a password? Okay, so it's very simple answer that a secret code called key is required to read the data, and key can be a password. But we need an installation key where the software can be protected with a password. So installation key is actually making sure the authorization of that software. In fact, that password will only protect the required resource, but installation key will tell us about the authorized person, authorized resource. So the next question is DOS. Define DOS. DOS stands for denial of service attack. It's a cyber attack to make a machine or network resource unavailable for a user. And repeating it, denial of service attack is a cyber attack to make a machine or network resource unavailable for a user. Next we have sixth question, what is soft lifting? Please try to answer all the questions in the same way it's mentioned in your book, right? If you will not write down the answers according to the book, then in any board you are not going to get full marks. Okay, so the next question is soft lifting. Soft lifting is basically called borrowing and installing a copy of a software application from a colleague. In fact, you haven't actually bought that software, but you are actually just using the copy of that software from your colleague or from any third party. Then we have a next question, question number 7. In which aspects we want to secure our data? So it's just a general knowledge or common sense question, in which aspect we want to secure our data, right? So definitely we want to secure our data on every aspect, right? We want to secure our data from all the other things, all the fraud and misuses, on online piracy and all those things. So it's just a general knowledge question. Try to answer this question by yourself. Question number 8, explain the fraud and misuse. So basically in fraud and misuse there are a lot of things happens, right? Fraud and misuse happens when somebody will using the computer or internet, some unauthorized activities can take place, right? Maybe somebody is trying to access your money by electronic means, and somebody is actually trying to get your information, and sometimes some malicious user actually pretend himself or herself as your friend and tries to get some confidential information from you. This process is called phishing as well. So if you will provide that information to that third party, then they can use that information to any means. So be smart when you are using an internet connection. So we have last short questions. Define vigenere cipher, right? So basically vigenere cipher is another substitution cipher which uses a table known as vigenere cipher table for substituting the letters of plain text. You will be having some plain text, and then you will be having some substitute text as well, and then you are going to map those plain text into columns and substitute text into rows, and then you can got your vigenere interior ciphertext, right? So vigenere cipher is basically another substitute cipher which uses a table known as vigenere cipher table for substituting the letters of plain text. So this is vigenere cipher. Then we have some long questions. You have to attempt all the long actually you have to just attempt one question, and in the first question we have A and B part, in the second question again we have A and B part. So the first question is define cybercrimes with example, right? So basically cybercrime cybercrime is a crime in which computer network or devices are used, right? This is called cybercrime. It can have identity theft, it can have a transaction fraud, and you can advance fee fraud, hacking can be happens, piracy can be involved in cybercrime as well, and there are a lot of other things as well. Define phishing and explain characteristics of email phishing, right? So first of all, phishing, I have already explained the phishing, like it's a fraudulent attempt by sending email to obtain sensitive information such as your username, CNIC, password, credit card details, and other things as well, right? So phishing can be happen through email and through websites as well. If it's gonna be happen through email, so it will actually try to open your account, and the subject of email is set in a way that the email recipient believe that email has come from a trusted resource, but it's actually not trusted resource, right? It sometimes contains messages that sounds attractive rather than threatening, and sometimes it normally uses fogged senders emails like admin@facebook.com, admininfo@gmail.com. You can also open that email if it is from some school's email address. So be careful when you are receiving some emails. It may contains phishing attacks through they are actually attacking you through sending some fake emails, right? Then we have fourth question, and part A is explain at least 4 ethical issues related to data security. So it's again very simple question. We have to write down just four ethical issues related to data security. It can be confidentiality, privacy, fraud and misuse, patent, copyright, trade secret, and sabotages, and etc. There are a lot of other things as well. You just have to explain at least 4. No need to write more than 4. Don't waste your time. Then we have a last but not least. Then we have a last question. Write down characteristics of a good password. We have already talked about a lot of times about the passwords, and passwords, you know that at least 8 digits we have to write down as a password. Then combination of characters, alphabets, and special characters needs to be used as a password. And your password doesn't contain your username, real name, your kids' names, any company, or any common you can say the common things about yourself. Your password doesn't contain a complete word, and your password is significantly different from previous passwords. You don't actually try to write down same password again and again. And then you need to write down uppercase letter, lowercase letter, numbers, and special symbol, right? A good password should be difficult to guess or check. It helps to prevent unauthorized people from accessing files, programs, and other resources, right? So try to write down a good and a strong password for your security and for keeping other things secure. So that's all from chapter number 4. If there will be any confusion, do let me know in the comment section box. In next video, we will be talking about chapter number 5, which is going to be our last chapter from class 9. So that's all for today. See you in the next video. Take care. Allah Hafiz.